concerning my knowledge or involvement in the deaths of 3 Chinese inmates of the Davao Penal Colony and the death of General Wesley Barayuga, all focusing on the alleged extrajudicial killings of the aforementioned individuals. I was also questioned about my relationship with the former president, as well as my career as a police officer and my tenure as the general manager of the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office. Throughout the hearings, I answered questions from the committee based on my personal knowledge. However, I did so with great apprehension as I recognize that my statements on national television could significantly endanger my life, the safety of my family, and others very close to me. After considerable reflection, I am now executing this affidavit to provide a comprehensive information to the Quadcom regarding everything I personally know about the war on drugs during the former administration. On May 2026, I received a call from the President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, at approximately 5 a.m., instructing me to meet him at his residence in Doña Luisa, Davao City. I was already acquainted with the mayor, having served as the station commander in one of the police stations in Davao City during his tenure. During our meeting, he requested that I will locate a PNP officer or operative who is a member of the Iglesia Ni Cristo, indicating that he needed someone capable of implementing the war on drugs on a national level, replicating the Davao model. The Davao model referred to the system involving payment and reward. The Davao model involves 3 levels of payment of rewards. First is the reward if the suspect is killed. Second, if is the funding of planned operations. And the third is the refund of operational expenses.
Colonel Garma, can you speak louder? I'm sorry, speak closer to the microphone.
Initially, I informed the President that I was unaware of any individual with those qualifications, as I had not been assigned outside of Davao City or had served in the national capacity within the PNP. However, I recalled my upperclassman Edilberto Leonardo, who was heading the Criminal Investigation Detection Group and was also a member of the Iglesia Ni Cristo. I mentioned his name to the President. On the same day, a certain individual named Muking contacted me to request for the phone number of Leonardo's contact details, which I promptly provided. A week later, I learned from Arthur Narsolis via phone call that Sir Leonardo had been summoned and was instructed to proceed to the Royal Mandaya Hotel in Davao for a meeting. Leonardo informed me later that he stayed at the hotel for almost 3 days, during which the President directed him to organize, according to Sir Leonardo, a task force which I understood as PAOK-TF. When Leonardo relayed this information, urged me to join the task force, I declined first, citing my lack of experience in handling said operations, Leonardo subsequently informed me that he had prepared a proposal routed to Bongo outlining the task force which would encompasses Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I am afraid of my life, Mr. Chair, and the life of my relatives and my friends and classmates. Leonardo subsequently informed me that he had prepared a proposal routed to Bongo confirming the task force operation which would encompasses Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. He also inquired if he and his classmates could have a courtesy call with the president through Bongo for a photo opportunity. Considering this, I thought it prudent to invite also my classmates to join the courtesy call. So in the presence of Colonel Bacay, Villela, Grijaldo, Tuzon, and Dueñas, the member of class 97 and 96 were accommodated in separate rooms at the DPWH office in Panacan, Davao City. The president did not enter our room, and I was unaware if he visited the room of class 96. After the courtesy call, Leonardo informed me that the structure of the mentioned task force would undergo changes. In June of 2016, Leonardo has transferred from Manila to assume the position of the chief of the CIDG Region 11. During the initial 3 months of the assignment, I facilitated all meetings between Leonardo and Bongo at Leonardo's request. Subsequently, they established direct communication. Leonardo informed me that he had recalled several trusted personnel, namely Lester, Romel Bactat, Rodel Serbo, Palma, Peter Parungo to serve as operative for the task force. Notably, Bactat, Serbo, and Palma were, for now, discharged from the police service. Romel Bactat, Serbo, Palma were all former police officers stationed at the CIDG 11 office. They were discharged from the service on or about a year ago due to an operation that led to the killing of one individual. Lester Berganyo is a provide citizen, while Peter Parunga was a former detainee of CIDG due to a charge of rape that has been cleared. Romel Bactat, Serbo, Palma, and Parunga were charged with the task of collecting and verifying informations provided by police officers in the field concerning arrests, deaths of individuals named in the list of drug personalities, and creating summary reports. All of these reports would then be encoded and compiled by Lester Berganyo. The compilation is thereafter elevated to Sir Leonardo, who will decide what level the arrest or killing was and its corresponding reward. Rewards were only given for killings, while for arrests only for the funding of Copland, and refund for operational expenses was given. I saw how these individuals operated when I would visit my friend in CIDG 11. He conveyed that the task force would be structured differently and that he submitted a document to Bongo detailing the task force operation, including an overview of the current drug landscape in the Philippines. I was informed that the drug structure originated from Bucor, where numerous drug lords are currently incarcerated, and that it has 3 branches, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, with Peter Lim involved in the Visayas region. Once the task force became operational, I later learned that all Copland's funds, refunds for operational expenses, and rewards for agents were processed through the account of Peter Parungo. Currently, Lester Berganyo maintained a comprehensive list of the drug personalities of the Philippines. Leonardo conducted briefings for all PIDEA, IG regional directors, and PNP chiefs regarding the drug situation. Additionally, if any individual died during police operations, Leonardo will report the incidents to Bongo for inclusion in the weekly report and request for refunds of operational expenses. Leonardo had final authority to determine who would be included in the list of drug personalities and to classify their threat level, as well as the discretion to remove individuals from the list. Furthermore, in 2016, while I was at the CIDG office following up the appointments of my personnel, I overheard Padilla discussing drug activities at the Davao Penal Colony with Leonardo. Padilla specifically identified certain Bucor officers involved in drug trade, notably mentioning an officer named Ginto, who was subsequently killed along with other Bucor members. These are the critical facts I personally know regarding the drug war of the previous administration. I am prepared to provide additional details and information in a supplemental affidavit or during an executive session at the discretion of the committee. I affirm the truthfulness and accuracy of the above statements to assist in the investigation by the Joint Committee, Your Honors.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'm actually shocked by the contents of the affidavit. So I'll be asking clarificatory questions. I'll be focusing dun sa nabanggit na reward system, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, sa affidavit ni Colonel Garma, binanggit niya na siya ay dating pinatawag ni former President Rodrigo Duterte. Nung pinatawag siya, ibinahagi ba yung plano na i-implement nationwide yung war on drugs? Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, nung mayor si former President Rodrigo Duterte sa Davao, implemented na doon ang war on drugs based sa kung paano natin siya ngayon napoperceive. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mr. Chair, at least ngayon, buti po ay na-admit iyon ni Colonel Garma dahil nung nakaraang mga pagtanong po natin ay hindi pa agad din yon na napuput on record dito sa komite. At least po ngayon ay alam na po natin talaga once and for all. Mr. Chair, nung station commander si Colonel Garma, nung panahon ni former President Rodrigo Duterte as mayor, ibig sabihin po ba nun ay given her role, isa po siya sa mga nag-implement ng war on drugs sa Davao. Tama po ba iyon, Mr. Chair?
No?
Paki-clarify mo lang yung question.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, ang tanong ko po dahil naging station commander po si Colonel Garma noong Davao Mayor si Rodrigo Duterte. So ibig sabihin po nun, given her role ay isa po siya sa mga nag-implement ng war on drugs sa Davao.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, nag-implement po siya nun dahil kasama po siya dun sa mga na-mention kanina from NUPL, yung Davao Boys and Girls. Tama po ba, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, can I explain my answer, Mr. Chair, so that maintindihan po ni Congressman?
Sige.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pakilapit lang po yung microphone sa inyong gabi.
This is how it works actually. Pag mag-conduct po ng police operation, kasi po ang police, if the operation po is successful and you file the case in court, you will submit a report sa City Hall monthly at nakalagay po doon na na-file po yung kaso, nakalagay din po yung IS number po, proof na na-file po yung kaso and the details of the case. And once isubmit mo to, yung operational expenses po ay nare-refund. That's 5,000 pesos per case po, per operation. Ngayon po, kung malaki po yung operation mo at kailangan mo ng operational fund, gagawa ka ng co-plan, you will also request po sa City Hall for the funding of the operation plan. Now, in case din po na nagkaroon po ng operation and subsequently po nagkaroon po ng death on the part of the suspects po during a legitimate operation, meron din pong corresponding amount po na binibigay, Mr. Chair. So that is how it works po.
So, Mr. Chair, ibig sabihin ay totoo ngang merong Davao Boys and Girls na nagpatupad ng war on drugs. To confirm, Mr. Chair, tama po. Na yun yung mode of operations as described. Tama po ba? Yun yung kinakonduct. Yun yung ginagawa nitong Davao Boys and Girls.
Ganun po yung sistema po ng how you will refund yung operational expenses. Kung ano po yung tawag nila at ano po yung ipinangalan ay for me it's not relevant as long as yung process on how the funds are being provided po, yun po yung ina-explain ko lang po. If that is how po ang pag-perceive, that's how it is politically described po, then that's it po.
Okay, Mr. Chair, dun sa reward system, kasi nasa affidavit din po, na nire-refund ang operational expenses, tapos may funding din para sa planned operations, ito yung co-plan, tapos may reward din kapag napatay yung suspect. Tama po ba, Mr. Chair?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, may nakuha po kasi tayong impormasyon, although nung mga nakaraan ay parang haka-haka lang siya, pero ngayon na nag-hold tayo ng investigations ay nakakakuha po tayo ng mga sources na pagdating po dun sa reward system ay kapag ang napatay ay isang pusher, yun yung tinatawag na level 1, tapos 50,000 ang reward. Mako-confirm po ba yun ni Colonel Garma, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, I am not so familiar po sa specific amounts. But true, there is a amount po per level. I think Colonel Leonardo can explain po kung ano yung specific amount. Kapag baka magkamali po akong sasabihin na 50 nga o 100 o 1 million yun. But there is a corresponding amount per level, Mr. Chair.
Sige. Mr. Chair, sa information na nakuha natin ay merong 4 na levels. Yung level 1 ay 50K para sa pusher. Kung napatay ay pusher. Kung big time pusher naman ay yun yung level 2, 100K. Tapos kung narco-cops, narco-politicians or protectors ay 300 to 500K. Tapos kapag trader, manufacturer, chemist, yung mga ninja cops or mga financiers, yun yung level 4, 1 million yung reward kapag napatay sila. Familiar po ba iyon kay Colonel Garma? Yung ganong leveling and amounts?
May amount po, Mr. Chair, from what I understand, starting 20,000 to 1 million. But I'm not familiar sa mga bracketing po, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, yung 20K, yun po yung mga street level or mga small time na natatag na involved sa drug trade. Tama po ba?
Most likely kasi yun po yung pinakamaliit na amount as far as that's I know, Mr. Chair.
And to compare, Mr. Chair, yung mga napatay dun sa Davao Penal Colony ay dahil ang kanilang task di umano dun sa drug trade ay yung pagiging mga chemist. Kaya kapag ganun, level 4 sila. Kaya naging 1 million per head yung presyo, kumbaga, or yung reward para sa pagpatay sa kanila. Tas dahil 3 sila, kaya 3 million. Tama po ba, Mr. Chair?
Hindi ko po alam, Mr. Chair, kaya hindi ko nakita kung magkano kung talagang mayroon pong na-classify sila kung anong level, ay hindi ko po nakita kasi.
Pero you can confirm na yung pinakamataas ay 1 million.
As far as I know, Mr. Chair.
Kaya, Mr. Chair, doon sa pag-i-implement ng war on drugs on a national level, doon sa pakikipag-usap ni Colonel Garma kay former President Rodrigo Duterte, sinabi ba niya na meron siyang layunin na yung Davao model ay i-implement sa buong bansa? May ganun po ba, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And Mr. Chair, doon sa ganitong plano ay on loop po doon ang incumbent senator na si Bongo. Tama po ba?
Mr. Chair, I didn't get the question. Kindly repeat po, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, doon sa plano na itong Davao model ay implement siya sa buong bansa, based sa naging affidavit, gusto nating ma-confirm na mayroong papel din dito si Senator Bongo. Tama po ba?
Sa aking understanding, it would appear, Mr. Chair, kasi po siya ang minimit ni Sir Leonardo.
Mr. Chair, kapag may napatay na suspect doon sa drug trade, kanino unang nire-report yung mga instances na merong napatay?
Sa ground kasi may gagawa ka ng report, Mr. Chair, spot report. And then, meron pong phone number na na-disseminate sa lahat po ng RD, PD, Chief of Police, kung saan po tinetext po yung result ng police operation. And these phone numbers are handled, hinahawakan po nung mga tao po ni Sir Leonardo.
Mr. Chair, since naging bahagi po si Colonel Garma ng War on Drugs sa Davao, familiar po ba siya or alam po ba niya kung meron ding kompetisyon sa iba't ibang mga police stations sa number ng mga napatay? Lalo na't kung meron palang reward na napatay yung isang tao as compared to inaresto lang. So meron bang ganong tipo ng kompetisyon among police stations?
Wala po, Mr. Chair, during our time.
Mr. Chair, pagdating naman sa kung paano na-incentivize yung mga iba't ibang police stations or police officers, ano po yung mga pamantayan dati para masabi na ang isang police station ay effective sa pag-conduct niya ng war on drugs?
Meron kasing, sa amin nung sa Davao kasi po, it depends po kasi sa station na hinahawakan mo kasi naka-profile na po yan kung anong classification po ng drugs, kung infested po ba ng drugs yung mga barangay. So meron na pong projection po. Kasi meron po kami noong tinatawag na yung may baseline po kasi kami na naka-establish during that time. So projected po kung ilan ang possible arrest mo every month, Mr. Chair. But of course, dumarating din po yung point na wala ka na mahuli o sobrang baba. Depende kasi sa performance din ng patrol sa area as part of preventing po yung occurrence po ng illegal drug trade. So mamimili ka lang naman mag-ooperate ka o intensify mo ang police patrol para wala kang mahuli at hindi po matuloy mangyari ang bentahan po ng droga. You just choose between the two naman po.
Kaya, Mr. Chair, yun yung tungkol sa reward system kapag may napatay na mga suspect. Kahit nga, we would like to underscore na mga suspect pa lang yun. Mr. Chair, pagdating dun sa funding ng mga planned operations, sino po ang nagpa-fund ng mga ganong operasyon, yung tinatawag na co-plan, batay dun sa affidavit?
What I understand pong alam ko po, pag malalaking police operation, the case operation plan ay sinasubmit po kay Sir Leonardo for funding. And I think si Sir Leonardo po maka-explain kung saan po galing ang pondo, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, sa pagkakaalam ni Colonel Garma, meron bang mga private individuals or corporations na nagbibigay din ng, kumbaga, we can say, donation para sa ganitong mga planned operations?
I'm not aware, Mr. Chair. Wala akong alam po.
Mr. Chair, pare-pareho ba yung amount na binibigay para dun sa kada operation na kinakonduct?
Hindi ko rin po alam, Mr. Chair, kaya hindi ako ang nag-evaluate ng mga co-plan. Basta ang alam ko lang, sinasubmit po sa kanya and siya po ang magpa-facilitate for the funding, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and Mr. Chair, dun sa pangatlong tipo ng itong paggamit ng pera for these plans, yung refund for operational expenses, ano-ano pong mga tipo ng expenses ito? Kasi kung nire-refund siya, ibig sabihin, meron munang nag-aabono. Ganun po ba ang sistema sa pag-conduct ng mga operations? Nag-aabono muna yung mga involved na mga police, tapos saka sila manghihingi ng refund?
I will explain further, Mr. Chair. Yung real McCoy kasi sa ground, Mr. Chair. The real talk po tayo sa ground. Talaga namang wala pong pondo talaga. Mag-aabono ka talaga. Pati by bus money, mag-aabono ang chief of police dyan para mamarkahin yan. Kung minsan nasusunog na itatakbo, wala na. Tapos wala kang mahuli, hindi mo talaga marerefund yung pera mo. So talagang abonado ang chief of police at saka mga operatiba. That is why in Davao, once successful po ang police operation na file mo ang kaso, may IS number po, proof that you filed the case, i-refund po ng 5,000 pesos yung mga expenses like photocopy, by bus money, payment for the agent, pagkain po ng suspect pag dinala mo po sa court, kasi maghihintay ka rin, tatagal ka rin sa korte. So those are the expenses which is very decent enough naman, just enough para lang maibalik at ma-refund po yung mga personal expenses na nagastos po ng chief of police o ng mga operatiba during police operation, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, dun sa mga nagpapa-refund for operational expenses, saan o kanino kinukuha yung mga pang-refund na mga amounts?
Are we referring to the national scope, Mr. Chair? My question lang, or Davao?
Sa Davao, Mr.
Davao
Chair.
noon, we have to submit the after activity report sa City Hall po. And then may pipirmahan kang voucher na ma-refund yung lahat ng expenses.
How about nung naging national na or nationwide na yung scale ng implementation ng war on drugs? Kanino din kinukuha yung refund?
Lahat po ay kay Colonel Leonardo, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so far Mr. Chair, mas yun muna yung aking mga tanong. Pero so far, based sa mga narinig natin hanggang ngayon, Mr. Chair, inabsorb ko pa rin talaga dahil hindi usual na marinig natin na merong nagko-confirm na meron talagang reward system, yung mga amounts ranging from yung small time pala na mga kahit inosente 20K yung presyo para sa kanila, tapos yung mga big time kumbaga tig 1 milyon bawat ulo. And from Davao ay naging massive ito hanggang sa buong bansa. Kaya naman pala ganado yung mga sangkot na mga pulis na kapag neutralization talaga ang layunin ay pumatay dahil pala ganun kalaki yung reward na kanila makukuha, Mr. Chair. So yun muna sa ngayon. Maraming salamat.
Okay, salamat Congressman Manuel. Ayan, affiliate is Congresswoman Franz Castro.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So based doon, Mr. Chair, doon sa summary ng kanyang affidavit, si Ms. Garma, nakita natin dito yung flow ng money. So makikita natin, Mr. Chair, ang driving factor, bakit marami po yung pinatay na mga may hirap dahil may rewards. At itong rewards na ito ay inaano pa yan ng kota, di ba? Tama po ba? Dito sa EJK ni Duterte ay ito po yung driving force, yung reward kung bakit ang dami pong mga pinatay na mga may hirap. Kinukumpirma niyo po ba yon, Ms. Garma?
Mr. Chair, with regards sa quota po, I think discretion yun ng mga RD, PD. But with regards to the rewards, nag-exist po, Your Honor.
What do you mean?
Sa quota po, hindi po nakotahan.
Okay, so
hindi-
wala yung
discretion.
quota.
Discretion.
Pero yung, Mr. Chair, yung reward system na kasi dito yung flow yung flow chart ng inyong affidavit, basically reward system at may flow of payment, di ba?
Nag-exist po.
Nag-exist.
Yes po, Your Honor.
Nag-exist.
Yes po.
Okay. So, ulitin ko nga, ito yung dahilan kung bakit nagkaroon ng siguro na entice ang mga operatives, ang mga pulis para doon sa EJK. Tama.
Posible po, kasi hindi ko
Okay.
rin din alam kung ano po iniisip nila, Your Honor.
Tama, kasi
Posible.
sa flow mo kasi, flow ng payment, so mula kay Bongo, di ba? Binibigay yung pera kay Ermina Espino. From Bongo, bumababa kay Edelberto Leonardo. At from kay Leonardo, nagpupunta yan sa chief ng regional SOG, PIDEA, Bucor, hanggang sa CIDG, hanggang sa all regional chief ng CIDG. So, yun po yung flow ng payment. So, tama. Dun sa dun sa ginawa niyong diagram.
Your Honor, kasi kung minsan hindi dumadaan sa RD, parang may naka-assign na focal point. Depende kasi po kung ano naging arrangement. Si Sir Leonardo lang po nakakaalam.
Okay, so
Your
therefore,
Honor.
from Leonardo, from Bongo, Senator Bongo, lahat napupunta kay Leonardo.
Yeah, it appears that way po.
Yes.
Kasi nga, yun ang sabi ni Pedro na galing kay, na pinapadala sa kanya.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so yun na po ang na-establish natin. Yung pera nanggagaling kay Bongo. So syempre, galing yan kay PRRD. Tama? Kasi dito sa diagram nyo, parang directly in-implicate nyo na si Duterte. Rodrigo Duterte.
pagdating po, it's just a communication flow, Your Honor. But I do not know kung galing po doon. Basta ang sinabi lang ni Pedro, si Muking ang nagpapadala. So,
Okay,
kung
pero si
saan man
Muking-
kinuha niya ni Muking, that I do not know. Pero
Yes.
pagdating po kay Bongo po, siya ang bini-meeting ni Sir Leonardo. Siya nag-meet sa kanya, nakikipag-arrange.
So, alam naman natin, Mr. Chair, na si Senator Bongo at saka si Senator Ronald Bato ay talagang close yan kay PRRD. Tama? Miss Garma?
Opo, Mr. Chair,
Okay.
Your Honor.
So ito pong ulitin ko yung pagtatanong dito sa funds. Kasi Mr. Chair, kung napansin ninyo, 2017 hanggang 2022 lumobo ang confidential funds. No, from naging 400 plus billion ang confidential funds. So do you think yung pera po ay isang source po ng pinagkukuhanan ng rewards ay yung confidential funds or intelligence funds?
Ayoko mag-speculate po, Your Honor. Hindi ko po
Okay.
alam kung anong source,
Okay.
Your Honor.
So, kung hindi niyo yun masasabi, obvious naman, Mr. Chair, no? Pagdating dito, no, kay Bongo tsaka kay Ronald Bato, close kay PRRD, at ang pera, ang flow ng pera mula kay Bongo hanggang kay Muking patungo kay Pedro. At si Leonardo yung bahala dun sa ibang pagbibigyan ng pera. As the matrix show or the flow chart show. Minention mo si Peter Lim. At doon sa affidavit ni Kerwin, parang ini-implicate ni parang sinasabi doon sa affidavit ni Kerwin na pinapa-implicate si Peter Lim doon sa war on drugs or doon sa droga. Hindi mo minention si Michael Yang. May alam ka ba kay Michael Yang?
Wala po, Your Honor. Kaya ko lang na-mention si Peter Lim because I was assigned in Region 7 at it appeared that he is the biggest drug lord sa Visayas area. That's why siya lang ang naaalala ko as far as Visayas area is concerned.
Okay. So hindi mo alam na baka si Michael Yang ay sa Mindanao area naman?
Wala po akong alam, Your Honor.
Okay. By the way, ang mas mataas sa inyo ni Leonardo ay si Colonel Leonardo, tama? Kayo po yung...
Yes po, class 96 po siya.
Okay, class 9.
Your
Kasi sa affidavit ninyo po, kinausap kayo ni PRRD para bumuo ng task force at naisip ninyo si Leonardo. So,
wala po siyang... Hindi siya nagsabi na bubuo kami.
okay. Pero naisip niyo po, dahil wala kang experience, si Leonardo yung naisip mo.
Hindi po. Very specific po instruction, operatiba na Iglesia ni Cristo. Definitely it's not me because I'm not an Iglesia ni Cristo, Your Honor. At saka hindi talaga ako operatiba.
Yes, sinabi niyo po kasi sa affidavit ninyo na wala nga kayong experience. Hindi rin kayo Iglesia ni Cristo.
Nagpahanap lang po.
Pero alam ninyo, si Leonardo ay Iglesia. Bakit ba Iglesia ni Cristo? Tinanong mo ba si Presidente? Bakit si Duterte? Bakit Iglesia ni Cristo?
Hindi
Di ba?
na...
Oo, bakit nga?
Nahiya ako magtanong, Your Honor. Nahiya po ako magtanong. I just complied.
So dahil alam mong Iglesia ni Cristo si Leonardo, siya yung kinontak mo. Siya
As
yung sinabi
far
mo,
as
nasabihan.
during that time po kasi Nakita ko kasi operatiba talaga si Sir Leonardo and I work with him sa CIDG 11. So siya yung una, later part na realize ko pwede siya. So I mentioned his name kasi Iglesia ni Cristo rin siya at medyo may katungkulan siya sa Iglesia. So I think he is qualified, Your Honor.
Okay. So, well, nagswak naman doon sa requirement ni Presidente Duterte, si Leonardo.
Sa tingin ko po na, kasi siya naman po na atasan, so perhaps po, na-qualify po, Your Honor.
Okay. So, dito sa affidavit mo, Mr. Chair, talagang talagang mention si Leonardo as part nung nung flow of payment o ng flow of rewards dito sa war on drugs or sa extrajudicial killings. Tama po ba?
Actually, lahat po ng officers, it's a public knowledge po. Takot lang po sila magsalita. Pero lahat po ng officer na nandito po sa loob, alam po nila yan, public knowledge lang po. Ako lang po naglakas loob magsabi, Mr. Your Honor.
So lahat ng mga officers dito, so ibig sabihin si Marcos, alam niya yan, so lahat ng PNP, si Torre, yung mga yan, alam na po lahat.
Yes,
Lahat.
Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Sa PIDEA naman, Mr. Chair, nag-show po kayo ng list, di ba? Merong new list, may original list, may PRRD list, meron yung isa pang category ng listahan. So, dito po sa mga list na to, may mga X. Ibig sabihin po, namatay na po yon, yung may mga X. So, hindi ko kilala po yung mga yung nasa list, no? Ibig bang sabihin nito, ito po ay mga drug lords or ano-ano yung mga category nito? High-level target or drug lord, manufacturer, chemist, or whatever? Ano-ano po yung mga niyan, categories po, Mr. Chair?
Hindi kaya pero
In the pictures that were shown in the presentation a while ago, Your Honor, the pictures were labeled as high-value targets and Binondo connection. There were two sets of, these are the two sets of pictures.
So, yung Binondo
Your Honor.
connection,
Yes.
so ito talagang literally Binondo? Bakit po
That was how
tinawag?
it was labeled, Your Honor. We are just showing to you what we were able to gather.
Okay. So, dito po walang pagdi-distinguish ng high-level target, drug lords, or manufacturer. Wala pong pagle-level dyan sa mga listahan.
None, Your Honor. It was just, they were just high-value targets.
Pero sinasabi nyo, this is a moving list. May napapalitan, may nalalaglag, merong nadadagdag. Tama po.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
But as far as the pictures are concerned, only additions were done.
No. On the
But
additions.
nobody was deleted. I mean, if you
Well,
look at the
Pag
monitor
namatay
now,
na.
ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. Pag
on the right
namatay
side,
na, parang wala na.
yeah.
So-
The one in the blue box are additions to
Okay.
the list on the left, to your
Okay.
left.
So PRRD list. So ibig sabihin originally nanggaling kay Duterte ang listahan na ito po, yung nasa Binondo connection.
The three lists,
the
ma'am,
three
were
lists?
originally called the PRRD list.
So nanggaling lahat.
I mean, the file name was PRRD list and we just adopted it.
Okay. So ito yung mula pa nung umpisa na ipinagmamalaki niya ng mga listahan ng mga narco-politics or mga drug lords. Ito na yon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, dito sa mga listahan, na-bet niyo na po ba itong mga list na ito?
No, Your Honor. That's the reason why it was being validated every now and then. But when it goes back to the palace, we were informed that when the list goes down, additional names are included. So there is a belief that somebody from the palace or somebody from up there was including names. So it was very difficult to really vet it. But finally, come in the August 2020 list, but it was, when did they start remedied? Can you just show the slide?
2019.
In 2019, the effort to validate this list started, Your Honor.
Okay, so natapos na po yung pag-validate or na-check?
The validation is continuing, Your Honor. It
Pero
is still pending.
are you
if-
conducting po the investigation po dito sa PRRD list?
Yes, it is ongoing, Your Honor. But you see, there is a remedied committee that is supposed to review this before they submit it to the Executive Secretary for names to be delisted, retained, or to be placed on suspension file. However, this has not been acted upon since the PBBM administration.
So nandyan po ba si Peter Lim tsaka si Michael Yang sa list?
Michael Yang is not there, Your Honor, but I think Peter Lim is. Let me just double check. But as far as Michael Yang is concerned, he is not in any of the lists.
Peter Lim, yes, sir.
Peter Lim positive, Your Honor.
Pero you have investigated Michael Yang kasi alam ko parang nag-imbestiga yata ang PIDEA kay Michael Yang at may positive na involvement siya sa drugs.
When I took over in November 2022, Your Honor, I immediately asked for the name Michael Yang if it was listed in our records, but there is no record. Yeah? Negative, Your Honor, for Michael Yang. No hit for Michael Yang, Your Honor.
How about yung kapatid niya po?
None also, Your
None
Honor.
also. Pero syempre, obviously, galing yan kay PRRD. And we know naman that Michael Yang is being protected by PRRD. So mukhang hindi siya talaga, list na talagang, na talagang hindi bias, di ba? Kasi mayroon nga ngayon ongoing investigation, di ba, kay Michael Yang. So, baka unsolicited advice, baka pwedeng imbestigahan po ng PIDEA.
Yes, Your Honor, because because of these Quadcom hearings, the connection of the Pogo is now, the Pogo and the drugs connection is
Yes.
now established.
Yes.
So it is being investigated.
Yes, thank you
However,
po.
Your Honor, let me just explain that in our presentation, we showed that you can tinker with this list. Yeah, you can play with the list. That's the reason why we bring it upstairs and it goes down to us. There are new names listed. But just to take as an example, the names of Mabilog and Wesley Barayuga. So, in other words, this list was being, manipulated without validation. Even if PIDEA was validating it, when it would go up to show the results of our efforts, the list when it goes down, there are more names added. So that's why, just to make sure, we already joined list 1, 2 to have list number 3.
Okay. Kailan niyo po mababalidate lahat ng mga nakalagay na mga listahan niyo po doon? Kasi parang tingin natin talagang tumitibay yung conclusion namin na parang war between among drug lords ito. So pwede niyo bang maklasify yan as mga drug lords, mga pushers lang or whatever? Pwede bang magawa yon ng PIDEA?
Yes, Your Honor. If you look at the monitor in front of Your Honor, you can see under September 2, 2020, the approval of guidelines and procedures in the conduct of, etc.
Okay.
This is the process that we are we are showing to you, Your Honor, that it doesn't only take PIDEA to validate this list.
Okay. Sino po
There
yung...
is this remedied committee, which is composed of the SILG, the DG PIDEA, the Chief of Staff, and the Chief PNP.
Okay.
Unfortunately, as I was saying, during the PBBM administration, this list was never acted upon. That is why we have recommended to the palace that since we are conducting regular barangay drug clearing operations and we are conducting also regular seminar workshops on how we can review our watch list, we were recommending that this remedied list be incorporated already into our barangay drug clearing program so that they can be validated also. So there is no more need for the remedied, but we are waiting for the palace to act on our recommendation,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, kasi yung mga list nyo na nandiyan dyan, tingin ko mga high value yan, ano. Iba pa kasi yung list ng mga barangay, no? During the drug war ni Duterte. Iba pa yung list na yun. Millions yun eh. Yung mga inaano doon sa nililista ng mga barangay, na mga nai-involve doon sa drugs na sinasabi ay siniseminar. So, wala dyan sa list, no? Iba pa yung list natin sa barangay level.
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to merge all of these lists together so that we will only have one list.
Well, hindi po. Pwede natin pag-ibahin, di ba, yung mga listahan sa barangay. Kasi 1 million yun eh, dun sa report na nakita natin during the previous hearings. So 1 million po yan. Mga ano to, no? Katulad yan, mga may hirap na extrajudicial killed. No, yun po. Tapos ihalo nyo dyan sa listahan na mga narcolist yan, mga ganun po ba? I-merge nyo lahat ito?
Your
Mr.
Honor,
Chair?
the 1 million plus names that you are mentioning,
In the
is
barangay.
just an estimate of the total number of, I think, drug users
Yes, sir.
in the Philippines. There are no names, Your Honor. But we do our barangay drug clearing program, we have names. And
Yes, pero Mr. Chair, obvious naman eh, ang mga napapatay, mga mahihirap. Yung more or less from 3,000 yan hanggang 30,000 yan na estimated number of EJKs o namatay, ay karamihan doon ay mga mahihirap po. Kaya nga sinasabi natin, ang war on drugs ni Duterte ay war on drugs lang laban sa mga mahihirap. At ito ay labanan ng mga drug lords, ng mga kompetensyahan sa mga droga. So may ganun ba kayong investigation na nakita ninyo na nagkaroon talaga ng ng competition between drug lords?
Your Honor, we did not see any indication towards that, the competition concept. Because, again, the difficulty of having so many lists is that the list is very active. It's changing every now and then. And sometimes it happens that somebody is involved in a drug operation and he is not included in the list. So that was the difficulty during the
Okay.
drug campaign, Your Honor.
Sige. Pero ito po, nakita nyo naman, more than 30,000 ang namatay dito sa EJK, sa estimate yan ng Human Rights Watch. No, sa pulis naman, 6,000 dun sa kanilang listahan. So, mapapansin nyo po, mas maraming namatay na mga inosente, yung mga users lang, yung mga street pushers kaysa doon sa mga drug lord o malalaking supplier ng droga. So ang ibig ko sabihin, Mr. Chair, dito ma-intensify niyo po yung pinagkukuhanan ng droga, yung operations dapat ay ma-intensify yung sources ng mga droga, like yung nagmamanufacture, etc. So, yun lang po, Mr. Chair. Thank you po.